money is a very, very difficult topic for everyone, men, women, gremlins, Martians, what have you. No, in all seriousness, I even have a friend who is a financial analyst for people. Not analyst, but she's a social worker for helping women specifically deal with the issues of money, because many of us have this fear of being a bag lady living out on the streets. One of the reasons I'm glad I started my consultancy later in life is that I had already retirement savings. I had been one of those crazy few people that even at age 23 started putting money in my 401k. And that was almost 30 years ago when I first started. And I was religious every single year. And luckily I worked for companies that offered a match. So risk aside, when I started this business, at least I knew there was a good chunk of change there. However, we're seeing so many more young people who don't have that starting consultancies. We are very much seeing a transition to an entrepreneurial economy. And my fear is, without them having the opportunity to have, we used to joke, it was the little 401k man that would come around every few months and be like, you need to be putting at least 20% away. And most people would look at him like, I can't live if I do that. Especially when you're making $17,000 or whatever we were making in the 80s. But now, because so many people are running small businesses, they don't have that little man coming and reminding them. So people have to be so much more self-disciplined to put money aside. And not only put money aside, but invest. If you just put it in the bank in the passbook savings, you'll end up paying the bank to hold your money at the interest rates we're seeing. This is also really important for women because we are living longer than our male partners or the men in our lives. And so it's going to be even more vitally important that we put money aside. And just to give a hat tip, a friend of mine started a company called Goldbean, Hello Goldbean, which is a very inexpensive platform where you can pay $50 a year, no matter how little amount of money you have, and then you're able to make investments every month. And what Goldbean does is, once you sign up, they scan the last 3 months of your credit card bills, and they do what's called the Peter Lynch principle. Peter Lynch was a famous, probably before you were all born, a famous mutual fund director who essentially said you should be buying the stocks from the companies that you're purchasing products from. And, in essence, it makes sense. So what Goldbean does now is they'll take your $50 a year and then whatever money you put in each month, and they'll take that money and they'll invest it in what you're spending money on. And if you were to go to a bank with $50, they would probably laugh at you or say, just put it in a passbook savings, and you would never have the opportunity to play in the stock market. So I'm just saying there are new solutions and new services out there that you can be trying to be saving, but it is vitally important that you put money aside.